Today on Logliners, we're going to work on the fun and games, and we're going to get into the third act.
Good chow.
All right, so where we are right now is we're past this intro scene. Darwin buried alive. He gets out, brings Will along with him. Idris is wondering where he is, and now we think the Queen might just be following him to the island. He has crashed his boat. He has had this weird, trippy nightmare scenario, and now he's just waking up. We changed a lot here, so this is where we're going to start. So this is really the start of the promise of the premise. We hear birds chirping and light wind passing through the trees as Darwin slowly opens his eyes. He turns to see Will in the nearby forest taking a dump. Will is gathering supplies and debris from the boat. A large portion of the boat lies on the shore. Darwin finds his bag and observes the inside to find many pages of the daughter's journals have been destroyed, including the stick figures drawing of them that he looked at before he left. His journal still has usable pages. He puts everything back in his bag, calls over to Will. Just beyond these trees, there is some fresh water we can bathe in. Charles grabs the bag of liquor that Idris left him. There are few broken bottles inside. So we already saw this where Charles and him are in the water. Will is blabbering on in Charles's mind, and he sees this S-shaped tree, and it's the tree that we see the drawing in, just a little plant there. So he starts digging in front of it, and he finds a metal tin in it, but it's empty. The sun begins to set. So before we had, he sees this turtle egg, but we wanted to change that. We wanted him to have a defeat moment, really have I want to say probably more of a save the cat moment in the sense of you feel for him, and there's actually something now that I'm saying that out loud that we forgot to put in here, and maybe we'll do that right now. So the sun begins to set, and he goes back to the shipwreck site to find Will has made a fire. He has gathered the pieces of the boat to start rebuilding it. Darwin plops in front of the fire, defeated. Will comes over. It looks like we have a lot of work to do to the boat. I'm sure we will need the time anyway for your great discovery. Darwin laughs. Danny McBride like, there's no discovery. Will smiles. I don't even know what I was saying here. I give up easily, too. Darwin stares into the fire and looks over at Will. You watch dead people at night. Will grins. That's what you think. Really, what I do is... Well, yes, I watch dead people at night, technically. Darwin shakes his head. Yet I see people there that are always looking for something and never seem to find it. A relative of the deceased or friend or colleague. They're just looking in the wrong place. Very on the nose, but I kind of want him to say something like that. Darwin is just like kind of mad at him now. Like, a discovery is different. It is the right place at the right time. My grandfather died, and this boat is all I have left of him. Now I must rebuild it. So he's kind of like happy about this. Like, this was meant for a reason. This is like a new connection I have with him. Kind of saying like Darwin's going to have this new connection with his daughter by revisiting this and visiting people that had actually a connection with his daughter. I know it's on the nose,
No.
but I hope that comes across a little bit not on the nose. When you lose someone close to you and Charles gets defensive and cuts him off, don't talk to me about losing someone close. You won't know the slightest thing about it. Will walks away, just saying okay, or I'm sure Darwin just leaves him. I don't even think he needs to say anything. Darwin opens his journal to the last page of the outline of a face and continues to draw it. So I added this when he is leaving, when he's like, I am on a journey alone. He's either turns to the page there and he like starts like drawing this face, or and I don't know if we're going to keep this plant, but what he's going towards is this moment is exactly what he's trying to recover. Is he can't even remember what his daughter looks like.
Right.
So this whole thing has just this is the whole nature versus nurture, and this is really his character arc is mourning the death of his daughter. And he thinks it'll be better by just finding the greatest discovery. So it's morning. Will is working on the boat. Darwin is asleep with the page open of the face outline, and we hear two voices in the trees, and it's just two birds. Look at this fucking idiot sleeping. Yeah, you should have seen it yesterday. They crashed their boat on the island. I thought this dude was dead. It was awesome. Oh, shit, I wish I could have seen that. Charles opens his eyes to see two birds in the trees looking at him. Oh, fuck, go. Darwin ventures off into the forest again to the hole he dug. He looks around carefully. Close by, he sees a turtle egg peeking out of the ground. He runs over to it and digs it out. Carefully, he examines it, and he sees a turtle scared inside of an opening under the rock that overlooks the nest. Do not worry. I will not hurt it. I'll bring it back with some food for you. Charles begins to walk back to the shipwreck site. He hears a voice behind him. Hey, you! Come back here with my egg. Charles sees the turtle talking and snags him. Fuck you! Put me down! Charles laughs maniacally. Yes! This is it! No way! I am dreaming! The turtle looks confused. You're fucking crazy! Charles is back on the shipwreck site and ties the turtle to the tree. Darwin paces. Turtle's furious. Put my egg back! This is the greatest discovery! Oh my god, this stupid fucking turtle can talk! Maybe more talk. The turtle looks at Darwin as he goes back into the forest. Get off my fucking island! Charles goes back to him. It was you! When we crashed! You said that! Why should I leave? Because you can all speak? The turtle gets stern. Fuck you. Darwin slaps the turtle and begins looking for more animals. Idris arrives on the other side of the giant boulder that Darwin is on. They set up camp. He climbs the boulder to overlook the island. He uses binoculars to spy on Charles. I definitely think, obviously, this whole scene is like, you see how many boats he has, or there'll be a lot more description in this. It's like a pretty big fleet, a ton of people. It's a big operation he has. Mm-hmm. He sees Charles catching all the animals and yelling at them from the distance, like, fuck you! And like throwing iguanas and spinning fucking animals. Charles is holding an iguana. Talk, fucking talk! Ties the iguana to the tree. Animals are scattered throughout, tied to the tree. The turtle laughs. Charles grabs the egg and threatens him. Tell them to talk! Will approaches Charles. We need more resources to get this boat in shape. Charles ignored him. It's fine. I still think this is kind of like meh. William presses. We need help. We need lumber. I don't have the tools to even get that. The turtle. I can help you. First, let everyone go. Williams in amazement. The turtle is talking? This is what we came for? They can teach us about the island and how to help. Darwin. We can take them back home and be famous. You fucking idiot. Let's get them down from the trees so he can get us out of here. They untie the animals. The turtle begins to walk. Follow me. And it's like real slow. Charles walks slowly behind him and gets antsy. He grabs the turtle and straps him onto the back. There's no time for your slow, lazy walking, turtle. He wears the turtle as a backpack and begins the journey. Darwin is in a hurry. Where are we going? Turtle looks up at a distant mountain. There's a cavern at the top of the mountain. He will give us all the help we need. A montage of them walking through different terrain. They walk on a path with other turtles. You wear her shell around your neck. Charles, who are you talking about? Turtle is amazed. You don't remember me? I knew your daughter. Charles, don't talk about my daughter. This has nothing to do with her. I still think that's a little too on the nose, but that's kind of where I want to go for it.
Yep.
The turtle yells, stop! Charles, sweating, looks at the top of the mountain that is close, but a lion forest sits between them. It is right through there. The turtle is anxious. We go around, Charles denies. We are going through. They walk through the forest and it gets dark. The animals flurry away. Fuck you! A net swoops up Darwin and the turtle. Different animals gather around them. A turtle named Craig walks through as they make an opening for him. Let them down. The net drops. Seth detaches from Darwin's back. Sorry, we're changing the names because they're all turtles. And at first we called Seth Turtle, and now we're calling him Seth.
And half the time it's Charles, and the other half it's Darwin. I keep going like
it's bad.
No, it's all right. It's all right.
Seth detaches from Darwin's back. Seth is on his back, and a group of iguanas flip him over, talking to themselves. Fucking turtles. Darwin gets up. Craig sees a shell around his neck. You wear her shell. You can help us. We will travel with you. Seth denies. No. We're going to the caves for help. His boat is in ruins, and he needs to leave. He is a threat to us. Craig gets closer to Seth. We need the help of humans. Craig signals his crew to leave. Let's head up. I will have word with the High Council. I don't know if we're using High Council, but that's what we're going with for now. Mm-hmm. They arrive at the top of the mountain. An older gray turtle stands at the entrance. Darwin and the animals approach her. Sorry, I didn't change that because we're changing it to Jane because it's very like male heavy right now. Charles Darwin. Darwin is surprised. I'm sorry, we've met. He begins to walk into the cave. We have. My name is Jane. He turns around. Are you coming? Sorry. Charles begins to walk. Jane looks at Craig and Seth. You all can wait here. I think the two of you could use this time wisely. Charles and Jane walk through the cave. I also don't know if this is too weird. The shell belonged to your daughter. She helped us when you were here. As you studied and wrote your theories, she observed the islands in hopes of finding something else. Jane approaches the cave wall. There are markings. This is our history. When we learned to speak, we began to record what we saw and learned much like humans, I'm sure. Yet we struggle to have resources to grow. I also don't know if this is good. She walks along the cave wall as she tells the story. This is why specifically the whole records is necessary. So a volcano erupted here 10 years ago, shortly after you left. We lost family and friends. Craig's wife was injured. A fleet came After the ash settled, they observed the aftermath, but we couldn't save her. I thought speaking to the humans would be the end of us. Humans destroy literally everything. They do not want to help anyone but themselves. It's saying the same thing. We'll change that. I denied anyone to speak to them. That was the biggest thing we need to take from this, is that she made the decision as like a queen to say, we're not speaking to them, when her son's wife was hurt from this volcano eruption. So that's important to come from this little bit of dialogue. Craig and Seth are my sons. Not speaking to humans only made things worse. Craig formed a community without me, and I eventually agreed to join their ideology that we need humans because a volcano seems to be a threat once again. So we hear about the volcano, and we know that it may happen again, and she has kind of just said, we need help with the humans. I'm agreeing with Craig. Seth is still with their old ideology of humans are the worst, especially after seeing Darwin just like completely abuse all of these animals. Seth and Craig sit at the top of the mountain looking over the landscape. Craig, it's happening again. All of the signs. We need help to get through this one. I'm going back with the humans. The world will soon know that we can speak here. Seth sighs. Then what? The humans will destroy everything like they always have. We've heard the stories from the birds. War, famine, greed. Craig turns to a medicine, shelter, growth. Seth turns. We have that here. Charles and Jane walk up. Jane orders for help to be given to Charles to fix their boat. The animals... This is where it's kind of montagey, but the animals help cut down trees and gather supplies to build the boat. Charles is on the side drawing. I figured. Craig walks up. She's beautiful. And he sees the drawing that Charles is working on. What do you want? Craig walks in front of Charles. I'll come back with you and speak. Charles closes his journal. I need more of you to come with me. Craig shakes his head. Most of them don't trust you. Cut to Darwin is gathered in front of the working animals. Attention, I need some of you to come with me. This way humans will know you're here, and they will send any resources you need. A bird speaks. Yeah, fuck you, buddy. Everyone laughs. Fucking dumbass. They get back to work. Charles walks away and a penguin approaches him. I'll come with you. I have a penguin in my pack that needs your help. So Charles begins to help animals in exchange for one of each species to come back with him.
Okay. That's nice.
Seth looks disappointed, so we see all these fun and games moments that I didn't bulk up. But there's a few, I think, funny scenes where animals have a certain thing that he needs to help them with. So towards the end of that, he helps the last animal. Seth looks disappointed at Charles and the group of animals, and he just starts to leave. And Charles excuses himself to catch up with him. And he's like, your eggs, they need to be moved. And Seth stops. You can't fix everything. We have our own problems here on the island, as the humans do on their land. Darwin stops him. They won't survive if you keep them there. The eggs need more humidity, more moisture in the air. I can help move them. So he knows there is, when he picked up that egg, he realized there was something wrong with them. I thought this might be a good moment. He goes there, and Seth's wife's worried. They haven't been well for a while. Darwin carefully places the last egg into a new spot. Be patient. They will be all right. And then Jane approaches the cliffside overlooking Idris and his camp. She looks around as they build. That's where I ended. I added that scene. I'm not even sure why, but Charles moving the eggs. Oh, I do know why. It's because I want it to be like they got sick, and it's like you put them in the wrong spot. You're fucking up everything.
Right.
Like they got worse, but they only got worse because like the water was like poisoned.
Yep. Okay, so before we jump into the fun and games, it's just like, I think this is an awesome, pushing the needle forward. Like, thanks for doing all this. My comments would be, I feel like what's the relationship between Jane and Darwin? What's like sort of the deal that they strike, or the ultimatum? Because up until and we could just write more on the nose dialogue, just like to get us to the script, so we kind of know what we're trying to say, But like that interaction where she tells him all the history and everything like that, I feel like it should be
There's
like,
a moment there.
What do you want, Darwin?
Okay, perfect.
That's that. I think just what do you want, and he's got to tell the audience, what does he want? He wants them to come back.
He wants fame. He wants them to come back.
He wants a way to get home, so he needs the tools that he was promised by Seth to fix the boat, and he wants a guarantee that they will only talk for him. Like there's other people coming here, if
But I guess what is she getting back in return? She's
That's-
like, what do you want?
yeah, I know. I feel like that's the question.
Because originally we said like what she's getting is him off the island. So he could say what I want is for you to come back, and she's like, no. For like anyone to come back, she's like, if they want to,
so
they
it's
will.
just a dead end for him
Yeah.
rather than like a. So he tells her what she wants, and she says no. So she has the tools. Is that still like a?
Well, I
you
figure
know?
she has the tools, as in like the animals can like start chopping at trees.
Yeah,
you know, it's like it's a
yeah.
moment of like it's a Cinderella
they need
moment.
help.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
All the animals come together and like
That's great.
Yeah,
they
they'll like
lift up
start.
logs
Yeah,
and
yeah,
shit.
yeah. Okay.
It's really just Cinderella built and making the dress kind of thing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just-
yeah.
So with the boat,
But with the boat.
basically.
Okay.
But still, you're right. The intent there is like, you need my help. What I want from you, because she's now agreeing that she needs help from humans.
Right. So there's a little bit of a conflict in her beliefs, and I feel like that's going to be to our detriment because we need somebody other than Seth. Maybe it is just Seth, but I feel like we need somebody on the island to just be like, no, we have to get rid of the humans. They can't know we talk. But Seth already gave up the whatever the saying is. He gave it away.
Yeah. Kyle yawned. He was so bored at that. Oh my God.
Let's just get into the fun and games, but that's a big.
I mean,
question
that's a
mark.
big question that might change the fun and games.
Yeah.
So I would like to go there.
Darwin wants to fix his boat and bring proof back to England. If I can get proof of talking animals, which means a talking animal comes with me and talks, then I can pay off my debt and come here with a bigger fleet and go down in history as the person who discovered talking animals. Jane wants everyone to leave. Is that right? Jane
Yeah,
wants no
still,
human
basically.
interaction still. So Jane is willing to sacrifice her entire species. Let's say
Well, what I was saying in the dialogue was like Jane finally is like, I think we do need help, but I'm fine with changing it. But that's how I had it.
Maybe-
But this is where we're trying
maybe
to
the
figure out.
idea is Jane isn't convinced until she meets Idris. Right now, so later in the movie, that's what Jane will want. Right now, Jane wants him to leave.
Okay.
And later on in the movie, when the volcano starts exploding and it's like, okay, we are all gonna die. And back then I was thinking, okay, I'll just let everyone die. But now I met this guy Idris, and I'm like, he's cool. He built this hospital,
Okay.
So I'll go along with it. So she switches sides basically. But for right now, I feel like there's got to be a conflict. It's got to be Darwin needs something from the High Council. The High Council says no, but then through the fun and games, maybe her perspective starts to change or something. I don't know. Does that?
It makes sense. I think we need to really rewrite. Either we can do it now or I can do it later, but we need to solidify when she's up in the mountain with him, she does not want humans to know.
Or the mount scene is too early. Like
The fun and games should come before that. The fun
maybe,
and games of like
maybe there's an interaction that's a lot shorter. And she's not like welcoming and friendly. She's like, how could you make this mistake to bring a human to me? And Craig's like, well, it's too fucking late. Seth already talked to him. He already knows everything. And she's like, I will not speak to a human. Basically she's the High Council, and she already, for millennia has said like no to humans, and they've died for it. So,
and then he just leaves defeated again.
I think at that point, where I'm conflicted is like, at that point, Craig would say, I'm going to help you.
Yeah, I'm gonna help you, and he gets his animals that are with him to, and then other animals start approaching. Like, I need your help to Darwin. He's like, will you come with me? Like, how does that work then?
Right. The challenge is that you want the movie to be Seth and Darwin are forced together, right? Like, I feel like, just to look at it again from just sort of like the outsider perspective of like, what type of movie is it? this can totally change, but I really liked the idea. We were going for like buddy comedy. Turtle believes one way, Darwin believes another way. They're forced together into this situation. Is that still accurate, you think? Because I feel like and I know we're never gonna have Seth Rogen and like Danny McBride make this movie or whatever, but if we were really writing it for them, you wouldn't downplay their parts. You know, like this would be a Seth Rogen, Danny McBride vehicle. You know what I mean? Like
No,
that's the movie.
That's a good way
So
to put it.
we need to force them together. We need it to be necessary that they stay together, even though they hate each other. Craig is a way for, you know, we might be writing ourselves into a corner that's like there is a path of least resistance, especially considering these are just turtles and he could like flip them over and just go on with his day, you know, like unless we introduce at Craig's part, like they are not nearly as helpless as you think, which I think we kind of do. We need to write that and be more specific, I think, so that I can envision like how is a turtle actually gonna like manhandle, you know, I get the ropes and stuff like that, but I guess they can get pretty aggressive, tortoises. I don't know. They're tortoises, right? We're calling them turtles. I don't even think it's a turtle.
No, I think it's
There's
like, you know,
sea
it's like-
turtles and then there's tortoises.
we're calling them turtles because tortoises is too much to say.
It's too much. Yeah, I can't.
It's too many syllables.
Also, I felt like I did picture Seth as the sea turtle.
Oh my God, my mind is blown. Is he a sea turtle?
That's fine.
Yeah, that's
How
what
much
I
do they
Kyle,
pictured.
how do you envision the
Oh.
fun and games? More importantly,
Oh, my mind's blown because I've been seeing a tortoise this whole time. How do I envision the fun and games? Let's maybe just like look at. I know I'm probably not supposed to do this. What's another buddy comedy Seth Rogen movie? The high where
Pineapple
Your
Express.
Pineapple
Highness.
Express. Fun and games of Pineapple Express. It's a journey to get away from, like.
Yeah, well, the one scene, him and James Franco, they're now together basically, and they're in the car and they're throwing away the cell phone. They're like, we got to get out. They're gonna triangulate the cell phone. The car dies. They're hitchhiking. He puts his fucking thumb in his pants.
Save his
Look, he's supposed to
girlfriend,
be a
right? Like
wiener.
he's on his way to.
Yeah, save his girlfriend and the girlfriend's family. And when he gets in there, like, you're fucking crazy, man. And they just like leave. And need his help not at all.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm saving you. What the fuck are you talking about?
It's what's his name? Who's the dad?
I forget his name.
Like that guy's funny as hell too. So anyway, okay, let's go with a different one. Your Highness. It's a
I don't
quest,
remember.
Quest movie.
It's been a while. It's been a
Um,
long time.
It's a very, very generic quest movie, which is like, we need to go get this thing, so now we have to go see this like creepy puppet that like makes us touch him. Remember, like all those like
I don't even
stops along the
remember, to
journey.
be honest.
I'm just trying to like get us outside of the plot,
Yeah.
you know, and into the audience's seat for a minute, just to like look at what type of movie this is. How can we restructure some of the plot stuff to, you know, because I personally feel like maybe we're getting, I don't know, I like all this stuff. It's just a question of what would be the situation in which Darwin and the turtle have to be together.
Right. The queen saying, like, you need to basically help him get off this island.
Or what? Like, I think we need those consequences.
Or Darwin's not. Or to both, I guess.
Yeah,
or what
both
to
sides. Yeah.
both. I mean, Seth could be harsh, but I don't know why she would be harsh on him. She'd be harsh on Darwin because she doesn't like humans. So it's like, get off my island or I'll wage war on you. Or get off my island or you'll starve. You won't survive out here without my help. But to Seth, I don't know what her saying is. More like, this is an order and you have to do it. Which does happen in buddy
and
comedies.
also technically he kind of is fucked up by like talking to him in the first place.
What has Seth done in the past? So here's a total wrench, maybe. What would happen if we reversed who Seth and Craig's characters are, so that Craig is not like, we gotta get off this island, we gotta get the humans, but Craig is like the zealot brother who is going to take over the High Council. And he's even further, like, the mother understands the balance of nature, and she understands the waiting game of just letting humans go away. Craig is like, we gotta kill these people because they're gonna bring more people. This, we've seen it in our lifetime. You know, what if Seth is the, we've got to go with them kind of character? I don't think this is our answer. I'm just saying, what if it was? Because then it would be basically Seth wants to go with Darwin. Seth needs to help Darwin fix the boat. Seth goes to the High Council to help him fix the boat. The High Council gives Seth the ultimatum. If you don't get rid of him, then we kill your children. Like, I don't know, just an example.
Yeah,
it's like,
I get where you're going at, because we got to think outside the box to create these. But the only problem is, like, it's perfect, like, buddy comedy where, like, they're both opposing views. You know what I mean?
Right,
so that's
right.
the only thing that really works for this. Is
yeah,
like,
you're right. Yeah.
Craig is the one that agrees, but really the two that I agree that need to be more prevalent of this is the vehicle. It's a Seth Rogen, Danny McBride vehicle, and right now it seems kind of all over the place. But if it is them two, they have to have opposing views, and that friction's going to cause.
Right. So you're right about that. I just feel like going into the fun and games, it's like, you know, like Let's Be Cops. I'm trying to think of like other, you know, what is the thing that's going to force them to have to work together?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's Be Cops. Those movies are easier because it's like you have to work together.
It's
like a work,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I know. And that's the thing. Well, it's funny. Okay, we hadn't pitched. I'll do a pitch episode on this, but taking out the trash is one where Rebel Wilson tries out for the FBI, doesn't make it. She sees Tiffany Haddish there, who's basically like hates her and doesn't want her to be involved in the FBI. A year late, she's actually like a garbage lady. That's why it's called taking out the trash. She is doing her trash routes again a year later, and she's upset about it. And she finds evidence, and now it's like, of course, she's forced into it because Tiffany Haddish is on that case, and you're forced into it. So I'm just looking at something that you're right. Like, that was a moment where I was like, yeah, you have to do this. Because she already, like, fucked up, like Rebel Wilson. She already, like, and the police captain says, yeah, it's work. You have to do this. So, I mean, it's not much different from a High Council saying, this is work.
True, yeah.
You're my son, but you're also, like, a representative of this, and this is what I want. He could be like, enough. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But she's like, that's too bad. Because you need to help him. Get off this island. I need him off this island.
So then maybe it's just...
But Seth can be like, I'm not... Like, she can say, like, we'll help you get off the island, but we're not helping you further. And he's like, well, I need to... Like, he needs to get off the island. He accepts that help. And then when Craig... Now he's getting everything he wants, which is great. We want him to get everything he wants.
Or just Darwin doesn't even know that they're not going to help him. You know what I mean? She doesn't even say... You know, like, what if it's the audience knows they're not going to go with him? They're not going to go with Darwin.
No, yeah.
So the audience sees a scene with Jane and Seth. That's like, you have to, you know, you have to help him get off this island. You have to give him what he wants. And Seth is like, no, I'm not going to go with him. She's like, no, you're not going to go with him. But you have to get him off this island.
Right.
Because this is your fault.
Right, exactly. And Charles thinks that maybe he's not going to get anyone, though, right, to come with him until Craig says that. And he's like, and now I do think that's good because... I know we just backtracked and we didn't go anywhere, but I do think Craig saying that feeds into the more of like what he wants, not what he needs. And it's like, yeah, he's just like getting everything. Everything's aligning for him, which is like making him more wanting the want rather than the need, the truth lie aspect of the whole character.
So just to like get it down to like the whole matrix of, you know, the relationships. Jane tells Darwin, like, there, you know, this is going to be butchery. This is not even good. But the bad version is he cannot get help from Craig this is her ultimatum for Darwin, basically. You know, the only person I'll let you take is Seth. And I know Craig, you know, that's just a difficult one. Because, you know, I feel like the easiest way out of this is why doesn't Darwin just go with Craig? You know? What does he need? It's probably simple. If it is like the help.
He needs the help.
Yeah, like
He needs
the
the help.
resources. Which
But again,
Craig
why wouldn't
doesn't
Craig just
have
help him?
all of that.
Craig doesn't have all of that.
Which is?
The resources. I know he doesn't have the.
He doesn't even got the resources.
He doesn't have the. He doesn't have
his
the.
crew is
his
pretty
crew,
small.
exactly.
It's like him and like maybe like
He's
6
got
other
10 turtles. So
Yeah,
like
it's
10
not
turtles, 10 sea turtles.
like
I got
not
10.
tortoises.
I got 10 sea turtles, not tortoises. Confusing.
How long
I know.
does it take you to cut down a tree? 4 years.
Roughly 4 years.
Um.
So that could happen too. Like you can get us out, like, and then he asks that. What do you have? What we need resources. Like we need trees cut. How long would you take? I have 10 sea turtles. It would take them 4 years to cut down. And he's like, no, this isn't gonna work. And the High Council is really like calls on the whole island to come together.
So that's what Darwin needs to understand in around this scene, which is like this woman runs the island. She can get him.
Yeah.
I can have you off this island in 3 days.
Yeah.
I can have that boat fixed. We've seen many boats through here. She wants Seth to leave, but she's not telling Seth that he won't be bringing, or I'm sorry, she wants Darwin to leave, but she's not telling Darwin that he won't be bringing a turtle. You know?
Yeah.
So she's like, we'll help him to get him the fuck out of here. Craig wants to go with him, but he doesn't have the resources, which still doesn't even make, you know what I mean? Like somewhere in there, just kind of like, if this were real life, you know, like that doesn't even.
Like he doesn't. So there's the riff, but it's like she controls like 99% of the island. He has a very small like he's not able to actually help fix his boat.
I mean, there
so
could
they
be a
get
moment
off
where
the
Craig
island.
just goes back to the boat and he's like, these guys will help us fix the boat. And then they're going to come with us. And Craig could just be like, yeah, it's going to take us like 4 years.
Wait, okay, I actually like this. So it's like, there's like sort of the
I
conflict
just
scene,
walked down this whole mountain.
and Craig's like, you know, it's like there's this conflict between Jane. She's like, we want you to get out of here. You're not gonna blah blah blah. And then Craig's like, I'll help you. I'll help you get off this island, and pushes in on Darwin's face. And then it cuts to like all these sea turtles following him to the boat, and then they're like, all right, cut down a tree, or like, oh, that's what you need us to do. And then it immediately cuts back to like the High Council, and he's asking for help
Okay.
again. I think her camera died or something died.
The
Monitor.
It looked like the monitor died. The front.
Oh,
was
okay,
still
cool.
going.
All right, we've made it more convoluted probably. What I'm feeling like, and I know I always do this, and I fucking complicate our movie so much, but there's such an easy solution for Darwin. You know, like it just feels like all the things that he wants, he could pretty much just take them. Because Craig is like, I'll go with you, and you know, the only thing stopping him is fixing the boat, which is a thing that now they all want to do because they want him to leave, you know?
Yeah.
Like that, I just don't find, I'm not seeing like a conflict.
You're right. It needs to be a bigger conflict.
And I know it's not great, but like it could it escalate? Could it be like Jane ultimately knows she's gonna kill him? You know, I know we don't like that or didn't want that.
I don't
but
like it. But it needs to be a conflict, I agree, to that level
he can't get
of
off this island.
intensity.
What happens? What's at risk if Darwin takes him off this island?
I mean, I
Why
guess
wouldn't
the
she
other
wanna
thing
kill
is
him,
like,
you
yeah,
know?
she would probably want to kill him.
Why,
because
if he gets off and he's the only
like,
human
I know
that knows.
they talk, then I'm just gonna come back with more people. Like,
And the
what's
other thing is,
stopping
like,
him from doing that?
If you
I
look
guess
at it, like it's
ultimately.
also like I feel like animals wouldn't really think about killing the way we do.
True.
You know what
but
I
they
mean?
talk,
I mean, we're
so-
like
Like-
really humanizing.
Yeah,
exactly.
we are humanizing them a lot, but like, you know, it's nature versus nurture out there, man.
I mean, that's
She's
like anybody.
straight up
Yeah.
good. Like she's straight up nature.
Yeah. I'm fine with that. It definitely makes you feel differently about the character, obviously, but it makes you feel stronger about the conflict, which is the better part of it. It does not make you feel any
But she changes. Mind.
She changes. That's true.
You know? So I think that's where it's nature versus nurture again. You know?
I mean, she changes her mind. I don't even know when, because she actually says like the whole part in the All Is Lost, like enough.
When Darwin saves them from Idris, she's like a whole movie arc basically of like, you know.
Yeah, but the whiff of death was her dying, which doesn't have to be.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
it doesn't have to be at all. It could be something else. That's totally fine. The whiff of death technically can be like the turtle eggs being like almost
like taken, basically, like
almost dead.
Really, like, oh yeah, from the poisoning too.
So there's definitely a conflict in the idea that Jane tells Seth he has to kill Darwin, or he has to make sure he doesn't get off this island.
The attempts of trying to actually
he's
kill
like
Darwin
actually trying to kill him through the fun and games.
Yeah,
I mean, like, yeah, like I don't know, why not? He's trying to kill him, or trying to have him, you know, like.
And that makes actually the turtle egg thing where he says, "I'm gonna help you move him," even better, because you've been trying to kill him the whole time.
Yeah,
like very poorly.
And it's definitely like an internal conflict for Seth at that point. I don't think this makes her a bad turtle. You know
Tortoise?
what I mean? Tortoise. Sea turtles and tortoises are extremely different.
You finally convinced me. It makes the fun and games better too.
I don't feel like it needs to be like super like, you know, gory, you gotta kill him kind of thing. It's just sort of, you know, like
you
really
need to, don't make it a super gory. Just end him.
Jane Lynch, like, just, you know what I mean? Just kind of, he can't leave. You know, you can't. I'm not saying kill him. Are you saying that?
But he can't leave.
He just doesn't leave.
He can't exist anymore.
So I think that, but we also have the ticking time bomb of the volcano, and that's gonna, you know, like, so we have a lot that'll change her mind.
Exactly. So we might have to change the dialogue that she does not know that the volcano is about to erupt. She finds out during the fun and games. Because she's saying this whole thing, like, we're about to have another, and she's, like, fine with it, not using humans again. So it needs to change. Yeah. She needs to figure it out and be like, oh, shit. So Craig can know, like, it's happening. Knows. It's going to, and says, like, whatever. And then when Jane Lynch, she finds some kind of evidence, it's like, oh, my God, it's going to happen again.
Okay.
Yeah, like the crack appeared again, like, or some shit like that, where it's like, the sign the volcanoes
or it just starts happening. You know, like there's just animals that are like half burnt, like running. You know, I don't know, like at what point in the movie does it happen? It could be
she could
the
see
whole
like,
third act is an eruption. Yeah, you know,
she can see like a flock of birds leaving and a tremor or something and be like, oh God, it's happening again.
So I do think we should cut this episode. We always do this, but like I think what we've figured out now though is the fun and games does have a point above just being funny. You know, Darwin's goal is to use the animals to fix the boat so that he can leave with a talking animal. And along the way, those animals are going to ask him for help. And he's going to be convincing more and more animals. Like, you know, it would be great if I had a penguin on my crew. Like you said. Seth is coming up with ways to put him in precarious situations, so he's not. I think Seth is not like, doesn't want to bludgeon him to death. He's like, you know, what if I have him swim with the stingrays? You know, like, what are the ways that Seth could try to get him killed, and then Darwin gets out of it usually in a funny way. Ultimately, we keep the rest of the plot. Darwin saves the eggs. Darwin changes Seth's mind. They connect about the daughter. Seth can't kill him. Maybe even Seth tells him, like, man, I've been trying to kill you this whole time.
Has to tell him eventually.
He tells
absolutely
him.
At some point.
Oh, well, that we actually didn't have a really great like rift moment, you know, between the friends. So that's, you know, toward the like midpoint maybe when they kind of break apart.
Yeah. So, I mean, 100% homework is Jane Lynch wants him dead now, which is a big change. She doesn't know about the volcano erupting yet. Craig does, actually.
Yep.
He's like, I see the signs. I know what's happening. Seth's like, what the
Chicken
fuck?
Little.
Yeah.
He's been saying it for years.
Yeah, exactly. During the fun games, Seth's trying to kill him. Darwin's actually getting the help from all the islands so he can leave. And he's starting to get animals that are like, hey, I'll trade for you to help my pack. I have something's wrong, and I'll come with you, like a Noah's Ark.
Yep.
And then he helps Seth with the eggs. Yeah, he realizes he doesn't want to kill him anymore. Jane Lynch realizes, oh my God, there's this volcano happening. All while Idris, we have to have a little bit more of Idris, like kind of building his fortress and doing whatever. He needs to be spying or doing something with animals. I'm not sure yet what. And then I think that's really it for now. Bulking up the fun and games more. I feel like even that would bring into the third act a little better. Basically, I guess if anyone's watching this, what we're saying is that this is never easy. And it's always, specifically, we have only written a few scripts, and it's really just trying. I think intent is the biggest thing that is hard. Why is a character doing something they're doing?
Yeah.
Because it seems easy to just write that, but then you have to go back scenes and forward scenes, and where does that puzzle piece lie? So we're always trying to figure that out and trying to make these scenes a little bit more cohesive. And also, we're writing a comedy, and we're not that funny.
Yeah, I'm not funny at all.
So,
like, genuinely, I write that like melodrama shit. Like,
I think
sad teenagers, where I live.
Sad tweens.
Yeah, sad children movies.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's pretty much where we're gonna leave it off. And hopefully next time, I did a little bit of that homework. Hopefully that helped solidify those scenes, but we're still falling flat. I feel like one of the most pivotal moments of the movie, where it's like getting right into the fun and games, and we kind of know the third act, and getting right into that fun and games is what I said, like the New World setup.
Yeah.
And the New World setup is now she wants him dead. Then the volcano starts erupting. There's a volcano thing that Craig knows, the conspiracy Chicken Little. And then Seth realizes he's having a change of heart, because he is also seeing Darwin helping other animals. He's seeing his worth of a human that his mother has never seen. And that's all clashing these emotions.
And probably the most important thing that we haven't really touched on is, through all of this, Darwin has to change his mind. It can't just be at the end. It's got to be like a slow burn of, I mean, he's a dick right now, and he just wants fame and paying off his debt. So we gotta.
So the midpoint is really the false victory of him leaving, but then realizing he wants to go back and help the animals. There has to be a moment there that, if that's still our midpoint,
I think it is. I think he
false
needs
victory of this is all good. We're leaving.
I think the biggest question is like,
we had it actually that he kind of got. Well, that was all is lost, where he gets. I guess the midpoint of the false victory is more of like all the animals agreeing they'll come with him, and the boat's done. And then actually we go over to the turtle eggs are sick. And then that all comes crumbling down like that. It turns really fast, and the queen's basically like, you need to leave. Idris has this whole hospital. Humans are good, but you're terrible.
Yeah.
However way she words that. And he leaves, and then he has to decide to go back and have that change of heart. It kind of is still slow burning, because he goes back to more probably for like, oh, the volcano's erupting. I need to save one of these talking animals for myself. And it slowly becomes more like, no, you're doing it to help the animals because you love them.
Well, I think I still like the idea that he like also realizes like Idris is poisoning them. I don't know if we left that somewhere in there, but
no, it's true. Like, where does
there's like a moment of realization.
We had the moment of realization when Will drank the bottle. Like, I guess we're gonna drink, and then like passes out.
But it's cheap. I don't like it coming from. I feel like he should have the character realization, the change of heart, and then he should have the plot realization. That's like, oh, this is worse. I was already gonna go back because they're all right. Humans are gonna ruin everything. But this is worse than I thought. Now I need to save them.
No, you're right. It needs to be the change of heart first.
Okay.
I think that's it.
Yep. And that is a very lame ending.